right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at some of our vice president and leading presidential Democratic candidate, Kamala Harris, some of her greatest hits. Because as we know, if we know nothing else about this woman, she says things that baffle us, truly. So I figured that I would just compile some of my favorites and we could watch them together, because that's always a fun time. Now, if you did not watch Monday's episode of the podcast, I suggest you go do that, because we walk through Kamala Harris's political history, and that's a good backstory to today's video. But with that, I do want to get into it today. Okay, so this one is definitely a fan favorite. Listening to her explain the Russia-Ukraine conflict that's going on. Now, to be fair, the interviewer did ask her to put it in layman's terms, but he said layman's terms, not retards terms. So let's just listen to what our vice president had to say.
Watching any level of news, even social media, you're seeing everything that's going on right now in the Ukraine. Break it down in layman's terms for people who don't understand what's going on and how can this directly affect the people of the United States.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
She says. I don't know, you guys. Comment down below what you guys think. Comment down below for all of these. Let me know what you guys think about all of these, because we have quite a few to go through. One thing that people often use in reference to Kamala Harris is that she speaks in word salads, and that's going to be the theme of a lot of these. Like the Russia-Ukraine thing was just her sounding stupid, but a lot of these, it's just like, I don't even know what it is that you're trying to say. I don't think you actually have a point that you're trying to get here. I don't know that there's actually an end goal in mind for your sentence. So that's most of these, and it's truly astounding. It is astounding to me that this woman has gotten this far in politics.
Culture is a reflection of our moment and our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment. And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy, because it comes in the morning.
I don't know what she's trying to say. I am not trying to be an asshole. I try to have things in good faith, but I don't think she truly knew what she was trying to say here. But that's who she is. Like, I mean, this is, I feel like there is a reason that she has gone into a bunker, into hiding for the last 2-ish years. I mean, we saw quite a bit of her in 2021, 2022, and people really didn't like her. I keep saying it, but the more people see of her, the less people like her. And I think she went underground after realizing this fact, and now she's being pushed back out into the public sphere, and that never goes well for her. So we will see. Okay, so another way in which they are trying to currently gaslight us is to convince us that she was never put in charge of the border. We talk about this a little bit in Monday's episode, so again, make sure you go check that out. But she was, and you know she was, I know she was, we all know she was, no matter what the media tries to tell us. We know that she was in charge of trying to figure out what the hell is going on at the border.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
And I haven't been to Europe. What, like?
I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
Why are you even asking me about the border? It's not like the president put me in charge of the border or anything. I'm not the border czar. Why are you even asking me about the border? I haven't been to Europe. What does that have to do with anything? It's not like we have a crisis on the border and there's millions of people flooding into our country. Why are you even asking? Why are you asking me about the border? Okay, so to continue on with the theme of what is this woman saying, here's a couple more fun ones. Let's just roll the tapes.
When we think about the strength of our democracy, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy.
A duality.
When it's intact, oh, it's so strong.
So strong.
In terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms.
Why does she talk like this? So strong.
And it is very fragile.
So fragile.
It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it.
I'm wondering what the United States is going to do more specifically to set up a permanent infrastructure. And relatedly, is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
She just got asked a very serious, very important question, and she has no answer for it. She makes a joke and laughs. This is what people are talking about. People don't necessarily have a problem with that she's full of laughter and joyful or whatever the fuck. People have a problem with the fact that she laughs at inappropriate times. Imagine her having a conversation with Putin, okay, and then she starts cackling. Do you think Putin's going to feel very threatened? Do you think he's going to feel like she's the one that's in control of that situation? Because I don't. I certainly do not. This is not the type of person that I want to be in charge of our country, especially at a time where there's so much foreign turmoil. There's so much turmoil within America itself. This is not the person that I want to have at the helm. She's an unserious person and she's a fraud, frankly. I know that this is supposed to be a funny video. And it is, hee hee ha ha, but this is such a good example of how it quickly becomes unfunny. It quickly becomes unfunny in these sorts of scenarios. But continuing.
Okay.
We all watched the
And we're back to being funny. This is a good one.
television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet. Based on what we've just been able to see, and because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
I mean, my God. Again, it's one of those things where you hear the second clip, that one that we just finished, and it's like, okay, you are a total goofball, holy shit. But then in the one before that, she is having a meeting and she just starts cackling, and it's just not the time. And Lord help us. Okay, what do we got next? This one goes out to everyone who says that they're voting for Kamala Harris because they just can't vote for Trump. If you are even remotely still sane in 2024 and even remotely have a grip on reality, this needs to be the one. This needs to be the one for you to shake life back into you. Because if you're going to vote for this woman, you have brain rot. Brain rot.
I want to welcome these leaders for coming in to have this very important discussion about some of the most pressing issues of our time. I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit.
We're going to talk about some of the most important issues of our time. By the way, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm wearing a blue suit. Because I'm not transphobic or ableist or whatever. Be for real. Be for real. This is one of her greatest hits. This one will go down in history books.
Very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past but the future.
Right. By the way, can we go back really quick? Because this guy here sitting right behind her holding a reproductive freedom sign. What a cuck. Good God. Grow some balls, sir. Grow some balls. I'm rooting for you. I am. And of course, it would not be a Kamala Harris compilation video if we did not have this sweet little treat.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
This is another classic. Another classic.
For all.
She will be well known. I mean, I do think that this is somebody that's going to go down in history books because simply, what is she saying at any given moment? It's a puzzle.
Doing a tour of the library here and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children.
When your essay has a word count, when you got to reach that word count and you're hoping that the teacher won't catch on to you having not read the book that the book report is on. So this one's particularly fun because they set up this whole thing to make it look like Kamala Harris was just going out of her way to help these children learn about space and blah, 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 blah. They're actors. All of these children are child actors. So this whole thing was staged and phony. So we're just going to watch a tiny little bit of it, but none of it was real. That fits for her.
Got that?
Yes.
All right. I got more advice. You just let me know.
Gag.
So what is the most surprising thing you found about being vice president?
What's the most surprising thing you found about being vice president? I know they're kids, but damn, shouldn't you be a better actor? My God.
There have been a lot of things because I've never been vice president before, so there are many new things. But I'll tell you one of the things that I'm really excited about, and one of the reasons for our visit and the time we're going to spend time together today is the Space Council. My mom was a scientist, so she would take us to the lab with her, like on the weekends and after school, because she had to work long hours. And I just love the idea of exploring the unknown. And then there's other things that we just haven't figured out or discovered yet. To think about so much that's out there that we still have to learn.
Again, I feel like she's talking to them like they're retarded, like they're kids, they're not brain dead. I don't know. And also, this whole thing is scripted, so maybe it's just bad acting.
Like, I love that. I love that. And so I'm very excited about the Space Council. We're going to learn so much. Increasingly, I think, are curious and interested in the potential for the discoveries and the work we can do in space. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about. But the other, you guys are going to see. You're going to literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes.
Oh my goodness.
With your own eyes, I'm telling you, it is going to be unbelievable.
None of these kids are excited.
So
They're
that's
bad
one of the
actors.
things we can do
They're not
too,
good
which
at
makes it
this.
so exciting. So that's what we're going to do. You guys ready to go over there?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, God. And to continue on with some more space talk, because this woman is relentless.
Space is exciting. It spurs our imaginations, and it forces us to ask big questions. Space, it affects us all, and it connects us all.
Do you see what I'm saying when I say that I feel like she thinks that she is saying something so deeply philosophical, something so hard hitting, but what she's actually saying is space connects us all. What the fuck? Literally, what the fuck? This is not your big one. Try again.
And when we talk about our children, I know for this group, we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community.
Imagine that. Imagine that the children of the community are, in fact, the children of the community. That's amazing. That's amazing. Really deep stuff coming out of Vice President Harris.
This is especially true when it comes to the climate crisis, which is why we will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together on to galvanize global action.
I would be remiss if I didn't play this one. This came out yesterday for me, which would be August 1st, I believe. This was her first unscripted thing that she's had to do since announcing her candidacy, and this was her big one. This is what she came out with.
This is just extraordinary.
Also, what the fuck is up with Joe Biden? Is that a man in a suit? Is that, I mean, I don't, I mean, is that like somebody, I don't know. I don't think that's a real person.
I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
That is not real.
Testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding
Literally falling
significance.
asleep. His eyes are literally closed. He is asleep right now. I can't even focus on what she's saying because he is asleep right now. It doesn't matter what she's saying because she's not saying anything actually, but this is, wow.
Of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day. This is just...
Oh my god, the side eye at the end was so hard. Look at his side eye.
This is incredible.
He's like, you guys really want her over me? You guys really are running her over me? God. And of course, at her Atlanta rally that she held, she code switched really hard. All of a sudden, she was Southern.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're gonna do it again in 2024.
2024, bitch, be for real. Like, people hate on Donald Trump, and I get it. But he is the same. He is the same person no matter who he is talking to, where the crowd is, what it is. He is consistent. He is the same. This woman's a chameleon. I mean, she'll do whatever she needs to do. She will do whoever she needs to do to get where she wants to be. So that's fun for her. Okay, so to close the episode out, I have two fun compilations because there are two things that Kamala Harris does more than anything else. One of them is discuss her love for Venn diagrams. So I have a good compilation for you guys of her going ham for Venn diagrams and her very famous saying of being unburdened, or what can be unburdened by what has been, or whatever it is. She'll tell you, more than once, she will tell you about that one. So let's dive in.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been.
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 What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been.
What 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 can be unburdened by what has been.
Who we can be unburdened by who we have been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Where we can be unburdened by where we have been, and unburdened by where we are right now.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What could be unburdened by what had been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened.
We're not even a third of the way through this video. I'm gonna speed it up for you guys.
By what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Unburdened by what has been. Believing in what can be. What can be unburdened by what has been. 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 What can be unburdened by what has been.
I lied because I don't want to have to sit here for 4 minutes. You guys get the point. We'll jump ahead.
Unburdened by what had been.
What can be unburdened by what has possible.
Unburdened by
Be unburdened.
Unburdened by been.
That can be.
But there are many more who are able to see what can be unburdened by what has been.
Wow. Wow. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel because this video has been a real test of my patience and will to live. We have one more video for you guys. I have one more video for you guys because she truly does love Venn diagrams, and it is another compilation.
Here we go.
I like to think about a lot of things in the context of a Venn diagram. I love Venn diagrams. Always ask, is there a Venn diagram for this? I'm telling you, it's
fascinating when you do. So Venn diagram, those 3 circles, right? I love Venn diagrams. Okay.
Just a little expansion.
I really do. I love Venn diagrams. You know, the 3 circles, sometimes there are more. One of the things I love is Venn diagrams. Any math teachers in the room? I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. You know, the 3 circles. I love Venn diagrams. You're just cracking up, right? You remember Venn diagrams, those 3 circles? Right. And then let's just see where they overlap. I asked my team to create a Venn diagram for me. I love Venn diagrams. And, you know, whenever you're kind of looking at something complex, a Venn diagram can usually help you out. Well, let me just say, I love Venn diagrams. I really love Venn diagrams. You know, the circles, right? 3 usually. I love Venn diagrams.
She is insufferable.
Those 3 circles sometimes.
No, you're lying. You are lying to yourself. If you sit here, if you look me dead in the eyes and tell me you actually like this woman, you are a fucking liar. You are a liar. I do not believe you. She is literally insufferable. We're gonna speed it up and see how much I can actually sit through, because this is, I'm crawling out of my skin.
Sometimes there's more.
Like, how are you going to say the exact same thing in every single interview you do? In every single interview this woman has ever done, she talks about Venn diagrams and being unburdened by what has been.
And you can tell so much if you just look at where the intersections are. I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. And whenever I am presented with kind of like, this is complicated, I always wonder, is there a Venn diagram to figure this stuff out? And we love that about you, right? I love Venn diagrams. You know, the 3 circles. I love Venn diagrams. I love Venn diagrams. The analysis about where there's the intersection, right?
If this did not earn your subscription to my channel, I don't know what will. Please. This was grueling. This was truly a grueling task, but I did it for you guys. So yeah, make sure you are subscribed. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. There will be a new episode of the podcast out on Monday, and then hopefully another reaction style video following that next week. That's it. I will talk to you guys then. Bye-bye.